Insecure, season 3, episode 7. Another great episode of Insecure. Another home run. This is essentially 3 weeks in a row, definitely 2 weeks in a row, where we got home run episodes from Insecure. And I have some issues with the fact that it's only 8 episodes. This is ridiculous. There's so much more that we can dive into in regards to these characters and these situations that 8 episodes at 30 minutes apiece is simply not enough. It's actually an injustice. It really is. It's a grave injustice that's going on with this show. Other than that, we got a really funny episode, a deep episode, an episode that has developed on the previous episode set. Absolutely love it. I absolutely love tonight's episode. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. This is the Insecure Season 3, Episode 7, Reaction and Review. And another thing, hold on, before we get into the brass tacks of this episode, I gotta say a few things. This Molly character, this Molly is triggering the fuck out of me. I don't know why I'm getting so fucking triggered by Molly, but I am. And Molly is I'm fucking just sitting, jumping up and down. You can blame Game of Thrones for Insecure not having a budget. Oh, HBO got the money somewhere. All that money they made from back in the day, they got some money somewhere. They're a premium channel. But, yeah, Molly is getting on my damn nerves. I'm talking about triggers, just Trigger City. She's just triggering. I think I dated a girl like Molly before. And the girl I dated that was like Molly, she triggered me too. And let's just get into it before I start getting re-triggered all over again. I just recalibrated myself. I don't want to be re-triggered, but it may happen. So we start out the episode with Issa worried about being ghosted by Nathan's little ass. And Nathan's basically a bitch at this point, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's been a week. It's been over a week. He not hitting her up. He out here still moving and grooving, but he haven't hollered at Issa. It's really corny. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't do people like that. I think I ghosted somebody once, like a long time ago. And it wasn't even like a long time. It was like 2 days. And the person got mad at me. And I don't really ghost people like that. You're better off just dumping them. So, you know, she's stressing out over being ghosted, which is understandable. There's something that they did this episode that was different. They started doing this POV camera, this point of view camera from Issa's point of view. And they used it early in the episode, and they used it early and often. I don't know if I love that. I seen it. I don't know if I don't like it either. It was just something different. It was, you know, sort of a cinematic, a way to tell a different visual story, I should say. And they used it a couple times. I don't think it added anything. I don't think it necessarily took something away, but I just wanted to point that out. So we again get this great text message moment when Issa's in the shower and her mom texts her one of these passages, these church passages. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to say I hate it, but these church passages that your parents be texting, somebody's got to tell them that's not what a phone is for, okay? Ain't nobody told their parents yet that those text messages are not what the phone is made for, to be sending out verses, okay? And I'll make the public service announcement. Send them my direction. I'll let them know. Hey parents, these retweeting and resending these messages, these Christian passages of the Bible, it's not what a phone is for. Okay? So I just gotta say that much. For a day. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And you don't want to tell them because it's the Bible. So you don't want to be like, say, Mom, I don't, you know. And every now and then they do come in handy, but it's just like, come on with that. So, and like I said, they're mastering this on screen text stuff. I mean, like I said, they're the best I've seen. I had to go block somebody before because of that. Wow. Insecure is the master of the on screen text, on screen messaging. They're the masters at that, as far as I've seen. Can y'all see my text? Yeah, we can see it. So we get this scene here where the Asian guy, and forgive me for not remembering his name, is on a date with Molly. So I guess Molly finally accepted to go out on a date with this guy. And they're having a pretty decent conversation. They're going back and forth. She's showing a lot of intrepidation. So I guess she's just on a date just because. But it's a fairly decent date. There's nothing really out of the ordinary. It's pretty cool. They're chopping it up, having a good conversation with each other while they chilling and kind of getting to know each other to a certain extent. And it was nice. It was cool. It seems like Molly needs to be going in that direction, you know. So we get this here where Lawrence is talking about he want to go to church now. So now after he done burnt up everybody, after he done put, you know what I'm saying, then sent everybody to the clinic on some STD shit, now he want to give his life to God. You know, so now he need to get his life right. He done burnt up everybody, dick on fire. Now this, you know, he's walking around with a burning bush, literally. So now he want to go and talk to God about it. You know, hopefully God can get his ass right. You don't need God, Lawrence. You need some penicillin. Okay, you don't need Pentecostals. You need penicillin. That's what you need. All right, Lawrence. I'm just saying. So Chad, like, man, I ain't trying to go to that shit. I ain't trying to go. But then Chad, not to be left out, says, cool, I'll go. I'll go kick it at the church, whatever. It be bitches at the church is I think what he said, or women at the church or whatever. So now Issa is a couple of days into being ghosted, and now she wants to get all pretty. And I like this episode because Issa was kind of in her head a lot this episode, kind of working through the emotions of being ghosted, blaming yourself, being mad about it, trying different things to try to get that person's attention. That was really the basis of tonight's episode. And I like episodes like this because it focuses on Issa's character, and Issa has so much charisma that she can pull off things like that flawlessly, which we see later in the episode. So, you know, she's sending pictures and she getting called thirsty for posting a pic to Instagram, which she thought was going to get Nathan's attention, but it didn't quite work that way. So she's on Nathan's Instagram scrolling, looking around and shit, and she sees this woman kissing Nathan, and she's all like, who is this bitch? Oh, it's his mom. And she looked young for 50, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Very great moment. So now they're using fake accounts. They're running around here like Kevin Durant, using fake accounts. They got a secret account they all log into. I thought she was happy with some guy. She got ghosted. Right. Bro, this was hilarious. It really was. So now they doing all kind of sending stuff through secret accounts. She in full MacGyver mode. She's in full Dick Tracy mode. Literally. That's the nickname for Issa on tonight, is Dick Tracy. Because she's trying to trace that dick and see what happened to it. So now we get Nathan and, not Nathan, but Lawrence and Chad in church. And we get Deacon Durong preaching some corny ass sermon about how Instagram is like God, and instead of following, you need to follow God, all this stupid ass shit. And Lawrence is just like, oh shit, I can't with this. Lawrence is like, dude, I can't with this. But lo and behold, I mean, Chad seen the light. He felt the spirit. Somehow, some way, God touched Chad, and Chad came on down and gave his life to Christ. And I'm sitting here just laughing. I'm laughing my ass off. He needed, though. Out of everybody, Chad really needed to give his life to God, because he been all over the place for a minute now. So he need to go ahead and give his life to Christ. That's a big deal. So then we get a moment here that I think will bear more significance on the next episode, in which Molly is telling her partner at the law firm, or her coworker at the law firm, that she's done a lot of research and she's ready to present this. And the coworker's like, hey, let me look over it first before you present it. Is she really the most relatable black woman on TV? I've heard you say that, but it seems like she got issues. Well, a lot of black women have issues. And let me address that, Brad, while we're on this topic. The reason why I said that Issa is the most relatable black woman on TV, it's because the issues that you just mentioned before are authentic issues to her age demographic and how she's living. A lot of the times we see black women on TV that it's almost a stereotype in which they're these down chicks from the hood, kind of gangster ratchet chicks, but they came up somehow. They got some rich drug dealer boyfriend or some shit like that, and they're living these posh lifestyles. So it's almost this rags to riches. I was a ghetto chick, but now I'm living fancy and good, but I'm still ratchet. And that's essentially, I can think of a couple characters. Cookie's characters like that from Empire. Tasha from Power is like that. So a lot of the black women on TV don't match the demographic like Issa does. Issa is spot on, almost too real. It's almost uncanny. And the other depictions of black women on TV are a little bit far fetched. They're a little bit far fetched. Some of them, they're still relatable, but they are a little bit far fetched. Yeah, so Issa's like right there. She's right there on the money. Isn't super sexy. I think she's cute. I would say Issa's cute. So now we got Molly getting the information that I talked about moments ago about her coworker wanting to wait on presenting the information to the rest of the partners at the law firm. Now we get this here. Now fellas need to. I don't know how many fellas need to hear this. I think I need to preach right now. I don't know how many fellas need to hear this. But when you go to church and you meet a church girl, you want to be careful about that church girl. Don't be going to no Bible studies with the church girl. But Lawrence ends up meeting this little church girl with the curly hair, and she's all flirty and all of those sorts of things, and she's really into the Lord. She's into the Lord. And I'm proud of Lawrence this episode, because a lot of dudes, they see a cute chick, they think she going to church, and they kind of fall for that. And I'm telling you, fellas, do not fall for the church girl, because it's one of the biggest scams. It's a bigger scam than Amway. It's a bigger scam than Herbalife tea. It's the biggest scam going. It's the church girl. That's like the biggest scam. I can get more into that later if you guys want me to, but I just want to make that statement. Well, here goes one of tonight's more pivotal moments. And like I said, this is one of the moments that had me triggered, where the Asian guy, and forgive me for not remembering his name, is on a date with Molly, and they're talking, they're going back and forth, they're throwing some they're just talking really. And Molly brings up the fact that the Asian guy kissed one of his homeboy's girlfriends. So in response, the Asian guy was like, yeah, I remember you telling me you slept with a married man. And then Molly goes, oh, well, he let me on. He let me think it was something that it wasn't. And the Asian guy's like, a married man led you on? How? And then Molly gets this attitude. She don't want to talk. She feel like she's been offended, and now she wants to leave. And that's 2 weeks in a row with Molly. I didn't like when she was talking to Dro. She want to walk over to Dro, hi Dro. She the one who told Dro that she needs some boundaries. And Dro was like, cool, like, you know what it is with me. I told you what it is. You down for it. But now you want boundaries? So last episode when she walked and talked to him, she want to bring that shit back up. I mean, she got offended that he brought that back up. Like, what do you mean? How you doing? What? This ain't boundaries right now? And Molly's fucking crazy right now. Molly's completely fucking crazy, and it's just it's too much. And I hope we can get some resolution with Molly going into the next episode. She's going to therapy for it, but that shit ain't fucking helping. That therapy is not fucking helping Molly. She's just crazy. She's going to therapy right now, but she crazy. She threw it in his face, basically. She did. And Molly's just completely batshit fucking crazy right now. She's completely batshit fucking crazy. And it's driving me insane. At least, you know, Issa makes mistakes. I understand that Issa, she makes mistakes. She does some shit that maybe she shouldn't do. But Molly should know better and don't do better. It's not helping because she's not being honest about herself. Yeah, Molly's got a lot of fucked up shit. Molly is so way more fucked up than Issa. It's not even funny. At least, if nothing else, that's a great point you bring up. At least Issa is honest with herself. At least Issa tells herself the truth. Even if she don't really listen to herself, she at least like, you know, I tried it, I fucked up. You know, but at least she goes through, to use a football term, she goes through her progressions. Molly is just fucking doing shit to be doing shit and telling herself lies and living in her own fantasy world. And she's not helping herself, and the therapy's not helping. But enough of Molly. Like I said, I think I dated a girl like Molly, and she triggered me, the girl that I dated, and now Molly's character is triggering me all over again. So she gets up and leaves. Now, you know, this is we're a week or so into being ghosted for Issa, and this is tonight's, you know, best stuff. Issa completely breaks down. She goes crazy. And we get this crackhead fucking Issa. And when crackhead Issa comes out, I mean, this shit couldn't have been more funny. We get like a crackhead version of Issa where she's in full stalker mode, she's in full stressed out mode, and she's looking for this nigga now. I mean, she's completely lost it. It's the most hilarious shit. Another tidbit of information in regards to Molly, she decides to present the information to the partners without her coworker looking it over. But back to cracked out cracked out Issa rather. She shows up at his house now. She's at that point. She's at show up at the house with the trench coat on and the pajamas. And this trench coat was killing me. The trench coat was just so stalkerish, so over the top. The trench coat put the whole character together for me. Just made her look so crazy. Like, it just, oh my God, this was perfect. This was perfect stuff. Home run. So she's like, yeah, you know, we gonna show up. So I want to see if he there. So she rolling up on his ass now. She's at that point. And she's at the door and she's looking all crazy. Molly got these desserts. The girl typed her name in his laptop. I know. Oh my God, it was so sad. Look at her. This is just straight dope. This is dope fiend. This is dope fiend levels of. Look at that shirt. Look at that V-neck. Look at that collar on that shirt. Oh my God, this is perfect. So she's in full dope fiend mode, creeping around this man's house, being a complete stalker, being a complete weirdo from top to bottom, almost low-key justifying why Nathan did what he did in an indirect sort of way. But she's in complete stalker mode right now. This was a moment in which this moment disappointed me for Molly, because I thought Molly was going to show some more self-reflection. For some reason right now, I thought she was going to be honest about the conversation, honest about her situation with Dro, but she chose to be weird about it, for lack of a better term. She chose to be completely weird about who she is and where she's at. And, my homeboy wasn't having it. He like, dude, this is we in LA. It's 10 million women out here. I don't need all this shit right now. Basically was his energy at this point. But I thought Molly was going to be honest with herself, and she wasn't. Which I was disappointed in that. Very disappointed in that. So here we go. Like I said, she talking about, don't go through his trash. I ain't finna go through his trash. She thought about going through his trash looking for some, she looking for some condom wrappers in that trash. I already know what she was going to be looking for. Even though people don't use condoms on this show, apparently. But she was finna go through that trash, but she thought better of it. She was about 2 seconds away from that trash can. Then she gonna type in her name as the password. And like I said, this is that POV camera. Which I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I like this POV camera. I don't know if I liked it. It wasn't bad, but I don't know if it added anything. It was a good attempt to change the tempo, but I don't know if I love the POV camera. But anyway, we still got the POV camera, and she's typing in the name, and then Molly comes in the room like, "Girl, what are you doing?" So then they have an important moment in the car. Now this is very important. Molly gives her great advice in the car. Because Issa's saying, hey, I kind of blame myself for this. Maybe I was too real. And Molly replies, if he ran off because you was too real, then why do you even want him? Which was great advice. Which goes to show that Issa and Molly are great friends. And they're very good for each other. Even though both of them are batshit crazy. Which Molly kind of redeemed herself with this scene right here, with giving that great advice. But this show whack. Wait, I missed the camera thing. So he's looking at her. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are both of y'all talking about? This show is not whack, and I don't know what you're talking about the camera thing. Anyway, so this was a great moment for Molly. This was a good moment for Molly. She redeemed herself. Liberal black women. What's wrong with... Oh, okay. Never mind. Shit. Oh, fuck. I got it, brother. So, like I said, great moment for Molly. Absolutely, I respect it. I'm not going to say I loved it. I'm going to say I respected it. She earned a little bit of respect back from me because she was at the bottom of the barrel for me. So now, we get the church girl being all churchy. And she's being I'm all at the youth nights and all this other shit. And fellas, this is what I was alluding to moments ago. Fellas, watch the church girl. Please watch the church girl. Don't fall for that church shit. Leave them church girls alone. Leave them alone. You don't want that, fellas. I'm telling you now. You don't want the church girl. You don't want the church girl at all. Fellas, this is from me to you. Why? Because, say, let me get through here. Put a pin in that and ask me why when I'm done with this. So, now Issa, she really in her head about it. She really fucked up about it, but she really coming to terms with the situation that she's been ghosted by somebody she thought cared about her, and somebody that she cared about, she began to care about as well. And she's been ghosted by that person. Talking about that's my man and shit. And so that, that embarrassment, all of that stuff is piling up on you. And it really is very uncomfortable to deal with that. And she's starting to come to terms with that reality. But she takes a shower. She kind of refreshes herself. She gathers her thoughts once more. And she's ready to move on from the situation or attempt to move on. So she starts deleting his name, unfollowing him, deleting them from the phone. Now, this is, my 2 cents. Never delete the text messages. I know it's hard. I've been there before. I deleted text messages too when I got mad. Never delete the fucking text messages. This is why. This is why you don't delete it. You're not really over the person if you delete all they shit. You understand what I'm saying? If you delete all they shit, you're not really over them. So you gotta be strong enough to see them in your phone and not feel a certain type of way about it. See, I learned this lesson the hard way. So take this from me, the Black Guru. I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. You not really over them until you can see them in your phone and not react to the presence. So don't let them live in your head alone. See, that's where it get fucked up. You don't want that person to live in your head because sometimes people deify the people who leave them. So you can't turn the people who leave you into deities. Right? So what you want to do is you want to keep them there, as this happened. Here's a reality of what happened, but I'm bigger than this person. So I can see this person's name. I can remember that person. I can acknowledge their existence and still be big enough to move forward even with their name still in my phone. So don't delete the name. Never delete the fucking number. Never delete shit. Key moment here. Lawrence, Denise, I guess it's the church girl's name, asks Lawrence, do you want to go to Bible study tonight? And Lawrence is basically like, fuck nah, with that Bible study shit. Fellas, take note. Never go. Anytime a woman invites you to a fucking Bible event of any sort, never fucking go to that shit. Ever. Especially if it's like the first or second, if it's early in the dating process, never fucking go to no church or no fucking Sunday school, no fucking youth ministry, kickball tournament. Don't go to none of that fucking shit, okay? Never go to that shit. It's not in your best interest, my brothers. So, Issa shows up to this entrepreneurship event where she's gonna get some information about being an entrepreneur while she's putting together her block party, which are all noble goals. And this was my biggest complaint about the show going into season 3, is that Issa really didn't have a purpose. She never really wanted to do anything until this season. And finally she has a purpose. Finally she has things that she wants to do. And that really transforms the nature of the entire show. The fact that your main character finally has a little bit of an objective. She has a destination that she wants to get to. Whether she gets there or not is the story, but she's got to want something. She got to want to go somewhere. That was my biggest complaint about season 1 and season 2, was that Issa was just kind of spinning out there doing things from episode to episode, and she didn't really have any character motivation herself. So we get a point here where the coworker kind of rolls his eyes at Molly's co-worker rolls his eyes at her, essentially pissed off that she presented the information without him. So Molly's kind of getting it in bad at work. She's kind of hit rock bottom in a certain way. She out here kind of fucked up right now, but we'll see the resolution to that on next week. Here's the key. Here's something I want to show y'all. So Lawrence is outside and he meets up with Issa. They meet up with each other, right? Now remember when Lawrence was reintroduced and they met each other at the 7-Eleven? And remember how far they were when they met each other at the 7-Eleven? Remember the fact that that episode ended with Issa way on one side of the screen and Lawrence way on the other side of the screen. That's how that episode ended, remember? Now, there's a quick moment in this episode, a quick scene where you see them standing like this. Now they're toe to toe with each other. This is what you call visual storytelling. This is what you call showing and not telling. So we see from the moment they meet each other, they're further apart. There's some distance between each other. But we see over the last few episodes that they're becoming closer to one another. And this is being not only represented in dialogue, it's also just being represented in their proximity to one another on screen. So, this is the type of second level storytelling that a lot of shows I ain't even gonna say that. I ain't even gonna do y'all like that. But this is just great stuff for Insecure. I ain't gonna bash nothing on tonight. Let me just say A+ for Insecure. A+. So we finished the episode here with Issa and Nathan, and excuse me, I keep saying Nathan. Issa and Lawrence having a conversation, kind of getting to know each other, kind of talking to, not getting to know each other, but recapping, what's been going on with each other. And it was real cool. It was real cordial. It was real fun for these two. I can see the chemistry between these two is a lot better than the chemistry she had with Nathan anyway. I've been complaining about that in all my reviews ever since her and Nathan went on that long, boring ass date that I complained about. So it's fun to see her back with Lawrence. And like I said, most importantly, another big issue I had with the first two seasons is that we never got to see Issa and Lawrence together on a positive note. They were always two exes that were going back and forth with each other at the end of a failed relationship. And for the last 2 or 3 episodes, we finally got to see how these two interact with one another on a more positive tip. Dead all you got from the Walk Dead almost died in fear tonight. Yeah, so. And that's essentially how we end the episode. Like I said, another great episode for Insecure. Absolutely loved it. I can't wait to see next week's episode, next week's finale. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already. Keep those hearts flying. Follow the Black Guru on Instagram, the Black Guru on Instagram. Visit shopguruhats.com for the latest Black Guru hats. Also, follow the Black Guru on YouTube, the Black Guru on YouTube. That's where all of these reviews will end up being posted, so you can rewatch them. So what were you going to say about the church girls? Oh yeah. You got to remember that church girls are mostly reformed hoes. It's like a whole reform factory. And you don't want to be caught up in that shit. You don't want to be caught up in whole reform. You just don't want to be that guy. This is from a guy's perspective. If a woman needs to go to church to get reformed from her whole shit, cool. But you don't want to be the guy that she's trying to reform her whole ways from. Because now all of the shit that she didn't do with all of the other guys, all of the mistakes she made in her past, she want to correct those mistakes with you. She wants to correct all that shit with you. Now, this isn't obviously all church girls. Don't get me wrong. I would never paint with such a broad brush. But the regular good girls are the regular girls who truly enjoy church, who truly are spiritual. It's a lot of hoes hiding behind the regular girls that just go to church and they just have faith. Right? And it's a lot of hoes hiding behind them. Okay? So you got to be careful with that as a dude, as a fella. So, you got she's in her whole reform mode and all, she trying to change her ways and she want to do all that shit. That's cool for her. But you don't want to be the dude. You don't want to be that guy, bro. You don't want to be along for that ride. Let somebody else, let another brother have that ride. I don't do that no more. I don't do this. I don't do that. That ain't the right way. That ain't blessed. Can I get down to brass tacks? They're going to pull out that old Black Guru. They're going to pull out that 2015 Black Guru if I keep going. So let me stop. Because if I keep going, y'all pull out that good old-fashioned 2015 Black Guru. So let me stop. But, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be with that. That ain't in the Bible. We ain't supposed to be doing all that. See, you don't want to be a part of that. So let her be on her spiritual reform journey, and you catch her wherever she lands. So when she's out of that kind of phase, or she's matured in that lifestyle, whatever, Then you come around and talk to her. Then you want to talk to her then. But yeah, you think church is a great place to pick up women, but it's not. I can get deeper into that, but I'll leave it right there. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. I appreciate everybody's time. One love.